Appreciate it. Mike, I'm going to introduce Mike Garner. Leighton, and you said that Mike is a, I'm going to use the word, and this is not doing this like justice, you are, tell me again, I know the hypnotist comes in.
Mental.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Mike.
It's on the business card. Okay, I do mental and emotional programming. I'm a corporate hypnotist. How long have I got?
20 minutes, right, yeah?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'll make it 15, how's that? Because the people have got things to do. I had it in my mind to continue my VAR, and I'm going to do that. I started 2 weeks ago with my process, which is VAVA, visualise, affirm, verbalise and assume the role. That's how you work in your mind. That's how you get your best performance. To visualise something, which we talked about last time, with a clear mental picture, to think it in your head, to speak it out loud, and then to assume the role. And you've got to know what role you want to assume. But what we're going to do this morning is, I'm going to give you something totally practical, because a lot of people struggle at 6 o'clock in the morning. Why is that? Because they don't feel like they've got enough energy. And energy is motivation. Motivation's got the word motor in it. It's the driving force for your life and your business. So you need loads of energy. So let me ask you first of all, where do you get your energy from?
Food.
Food, good answer. Food gives energy, doesn't it? So we end up with food. That's one place where your energy comes from. Where else do you get energy from?
Caffeine.
Caffeine, Red Bull, food and drinks. So we'll say drinks, because everything that you consume gives you energy. Food and drink. What else gives you? Is it? This one isn't. Is it not? This one isn't. No, this one will rub off. This one will rub off. These are mine. These are mine.
Keep going, you buggy.
So where else do you get your energy from?
Sleep.
Sleep builds energy, absolutely correct. Where else do you get your energy from?
Exercise.
Exercise. Where else do you get your energy from? Your mind. That's the one I was really looking for, and not just your mind, but your perceptions. Because something, we can all be doing the same thing, and it could be annoying or depowering somebody, frustrating somebody, and somebody could be getting off on it big time. So it's not necessarily what you do, it's how you think about what you do. Sunlight gives you energy, activities give you energy or drain energy, people drain energy, people give you energy. There's loads of answers. But let's say, for instance, now that we start off at the beginning of the day, and wouldn't it be wonderful if we started off at the beginning of the day with 100% of energy? Now I'm an engineer by background, okay, so I came up with this about 15 years ago when I was still working for the AA, and this is my little metaphor. And I say that your body is an oil refinery. So we're going to talk about energy, and we're going to talk about how you can use this and understand something today and change your life today by going along with me with this little storyline. If your life is an oil refinery, your body is an oil refinery for energy. Let's say we start off at the beginning of the day with 100% of energy, which very few of us do, and I'm going to call this one crude oil, and I'm going to call this one your physical energy. So I want from you, how much physical energy do you spend a day doing all your physical tasks? Moving around, in your office, at home at night, with your activities, leisure activities, works activities. You know, got some guys in here who are manual workers, as I used to be. So let's have a percentage of how much energy you think you use on a daily basis physically. And I'm going to call this one crude oil in my oil refinery metaphor. Let's have some, how much energy do you use, Trevor? Physically?
Physically,
50-60%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then when I get to the gym at
I'd
night.
go higher.
Higher?
Yeah, because
Higher or lower?
higher.
I feel like Bruce Forsyth now.
Higher. I'd say 90% of my work is
90%? Okay, understand. Anybody else? What about maybe office workers who aren't so physical?
Form. None.
Physical energy. Driving around, getting yourself physical energy.
25%.
30, 20. Should we hit a figure somewhere in the middle of all that? What's an average? I want these to be your figures, not mine. What's an average of those figures?
50.
Let's go for 40. 45. 40. Happy with 40? We'll go for the lowest common denominator, to be fair to you. So we're going to talk about physically, on an average, within the room, we use about 40% of energy. And we're calling that one the physical energy, which means that during the day, we use that energy at that level and we end up with 60% available to go up. And the next level, this was crude oil, and I'm going to call this one engine oil. You like this, don't you, Carl? It's a car metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah? And I'm going to call this one, okay, emotional level. So, how much energy do you spend a day in your emotional life? Now, emotional life, in my opinion, is all your interactions, positive and negative. All the exchanges that you make, positive and negative. All the positive and negative people that you meet and the way that they sap your energy or drain your energy or give you energy. So if you're in an office and you're interacting with lots of people and you've got to try and be PC and not say what you want to say, and you've got all that tension going on inside, and you get frustrations, and you get the computer not working and things like that, these things have an emotional effect on us, don't they? But also things during the day have a positive emotional effect. So how much energy do you think you spend emotionally during the day? All your negative interactions and expressing those negative interactions. 20% there, 30, 40% here.
That's what went wrong.
It depends on how your day goes, doesn't it? Absolutely, it's perceptions again, but how many people who have highly frustrating days and emotional tension and expressing stresses comes into that.
My in-laws are living with me at the moment.
Well, how many, Steve? Where's your stress levels? How much emotional energy do you have?
Somebody owes me money at the end of the day. Like I'm negative on the bank at the end of the day. Yeah.
Negative emotions throughout the day, the frustrations of the day and the way that we process that can be a high drain, can't it? It can sap our energy. And we know people that are energy vampires.
Yeah, I like that
So
one.
give me a figure.
40.
You're saying 40. Anybody more conservative than that? 100% there. 100, yeah.
Why are you looking at James,
honest,
Sam?
honest guy, I appreciate that. So should we go... Well, let's just bear in mind, we've only got 60% left, because we spent 40 physically.
Yeah.
So if we say 40 there, we've got nothing left, which is probably fairly accurate. So we're going to have to go below all your estimations, and let's say 30% or 35. Let's settle for 30, because I'm trying to be kind. Let's settle for 30% there, yeah? And so at that level, the emotional level, which we call in engine oil, now we've spent 40 and 30, or 35, okay? We've only got 60%, so we've only got 30% left to go up. That's at the lowest level, and some of you said you spend 100. So for some people, they've only got 5 or 10% to go up. And this level now, I'm going to call petrol. And this is the mental level now. This is mental energy. We've gone from physical to emotional to mental energy. And this is where you make your decisions. This is the realm where you goal set and you have wisdom. And what actually happens is you come home from a hard day at work and you've spent lots of energy physically and you have had all these interactions, negative and positive, and it's spent 40%, and it's spent 30, 40, 50%, and now you've got so little left at the end of the day for any planning, any wise decisions, any goal setting, any wisdom. You can't take any more on because you're absolutely shattered at the end of the day, and this is why so few people goal set and plan anything. And we know the old adage that failing to plan is planning to fail, but you're so shattered, aren't you? So how much mental energy do you expend? Maybe, you know, obviously we're all business owners and we're all in business, so even manual workers here are thinking, planning, marketing, strategizing, a whole range of things you're doing. But the average worker possibly has his thinking done for him, and he's the worker, but nevertheless he's still processing his life, his relationships and all the situations at home, family finance. But you haven't got much left. So how much do you think you've got, how much do you spend mentally during your day, mental energy? Based on the fact that some people in the room have only got 5% left, and anybody who hasn't worked very hard there has got 30% left to spend on their thought life.
I'd say 25.
25%. You're saying 25. Pretty much most people spend the rest of it, even if they've got any left, don't they? So let's say you spend 25% here. Okay. So actually, if you're one of these guys, you haven't got 25% to spend, and if you're lucky, you might have 3 to 5% left to go up to the next level, and I'm going to call this one lighter fluid, because it's refining all the way. It's going from crude oil to engine oil to petrol to lighter fluid, and this is your spiritual life. This is spiritual energy, and the spiritual energy is actually what life's all about. It's about the beauty of life. It's not about working. We're human beings. We're supposed to just be. We're not human doings. We're not human stressings, and we're certainly not designed to be human workings. We're supposed to be human beings. We're supposed to just be happy, be in control, be loving, be enjoying ourselves, having fun. We're not designed to work. That wasn't why we were put on the planet. We do work, but we actually should be working to live. This is where your life is. Not doing things, not emotionally stressing about things, not mentally overthinking things, but actually just enjoying things. I'm not talking about being religious, because I'm not religious. But I'm talking about your humanistic values, your contribution, your significance, your purpose in life, beauty of life, listening to music, dancing, playing with your kids, enjoying your wife, enjoying your girlfriend, or both. Pursuing your hobbies, having a creative life, and enjoying yourself, building some energy up and having a contribution. And most of us are in the minus here now. We're actually minus 25, or we might have 2, 3, 4% left to actually enjoy our life. And most of us say, well, one day I'll enjoy my life. That's what I'm working for. I'm working to retire. I'm working for this. And it's always next or tomorrow. And we know that tomorrow never comes for some people, don't we? So, what can we do about this? Now we know about this. What can we do about this? Well, we have to do our physical tasks. We have to go to work and we have to serve people. Yeah? And we have to think. And we should be spending maybe more time planning and constructing a good method to be able us to cope and get the things that we want. But I would suggest, and this is what today's all about and why I'm explaining this to you, that it's here at this level where you've got to be very careful. Because we've said here, and you said, which is absolutely right, the thing that gives us energy the most and robs our energy is our perceptions. It's not actually what's going on, it's the way we perceive it. It's not what's happening, it's the way we respond to what's happening. Life is in our response. So I'm going to suggest to you that you do this. I'm going to put you all on a diet for 21 days, for 3 weeks. So in 2 Dragon meetings time, I'm going to ask you a question. Has what you've learned this morning made a difference to your life? And I'm going to put you on what's called a PMA diet, which is positive mental attitude. And you'll have heard that before, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just 3 words. Oh, it's just positive thinking, this. Here's Mr. Positive, Mike Garner. Yeah? It's far more than that. In there is action. Positive mental action. Not just positive mental attitude. So what I want you to do that you don't do already is I want you to eliminate negative criticism. I want you to eliminate complaining, moaning and explaining. Don't complain, don't explain. Because what I'm going to suggest to you is, if you all, we said here that you spend at a minimum 30% and at a maximum 50%. So the ones that were minimum and maximum percent, 30 and 40, 50 there, that means that you've got more for thoughts and plans, and it means you've got more for spiritual life and the loves of your life. If you saved spending 30% there emotionally, and actually at that level you built energy rather than spent it, you'd have a lot more to think and plan, make wise decisions in the right frame of mind, because you'll never make decisions in the wrong frame of mind. The problem, the state of mind that created the problems that you've got are not the best state of mind to solve the problems that you've got. You've got to shift state of mind. And the way that you do that is that you have enough energy to be able to think things through wisely, and then you can start to enjoy your life. So how do you actually save things there? And the way that you do it is, first of all, we all have negative situations. We all know negative people. We all have challenges. And the question is to know it, but don't talk about it. Just don't express it. Just keep that zipped and don't talk about it. Only talk about what you want. So you can criticise, but it's got to be constructive. Tell people what you want from them and talk to yourself about what you want, but don't tell people what you don't want them to do. Don't devalue people. Don't criticise people. Don't devalue and criticise yourself. Cut off the growth of a negative emotion. Chop it down at the tree. When you hear yourself starting to moan or complain, just simply stop. Know that you're angry. Don't do anger. Know that you're frustrated, guilty. Don't do it. Don't become it. Sense it in yourself and stop the action. Don't replay what you've always done. I used to be very argumentative and quite reactive. I taught martial arts for 32 years, so you didn't want to get on the wrong side of me. I'm not that guy anymore now. I don't do it. You wouldn't know if I was upset. I just don't do it. And what you do is you train yourself to stop and check yourself from doing what you've always done. Because if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. So if you hear yourself moaning and complaining in your head, or moaning and complaining out your mouth, just simply stop. It's a red flag moment. Just check yourself. First of all, the first 7 days, checking yourself will become a conscious habit. You'll find it hard. It's a discipline that you've got to learn. Eventually, your subconscious mind will take that responsibility. And it will hear you talking. And first of all, it won't come out of your mouth. But if it does come out of your mouth, you'll check yourself automatically. When you don't express yourself negatively, you're a far nicer person, far more positive and far more constructive to be around. You'll get people doing things for you rather than expecting you to moan and complain and kick off. So that's a massive personality shift. But what it does for you is it saves all that energy of expressing yourself negativity. And you know, 5 minutes of an argument, whether it's internal, beating yourself up, or expressed external, 5 minutes of an argument can waste the energy of a day. If you don't argue, complain, moan and explain, you've got far more energy. Think about the amount of times during the day that you moan. Instead of moaning about what you don't want, talk about what you do want to yourself and to your employees, to your family, to your kids, to your neighbours, to your loved ones. Tell them what you want. Do you know what I mean by telling them what you want? Instead of when somebody comes late, say, "Oi, what time do you call this? A bit of a waste of space, you." What I say to people is, it'd be really lovely if you turned up on time. I feel that you really respect me. It'd be great to see you on time. And I used to have kids that used to come round when I was a single dad, and you know, a girl used to come and play with my daughter, and she always used to suck her thumb. And a dad used to say she sucks her thumb, but if you see her sucking her thumb, tell her not to. And what I used to do when she used to come round, I used to say, "It's really good, Sally, that you got your thumb out your mouth." She didn't, she was sucking her thumb, but if I told her that she had her thumb out of her mouth, she'd take it out straight away. Don't tell her what you don't want, because that reinforces what you don't want. Talk about what you do want. Always talk about what you do want, and you can save loads of energy by not complaining and not explaining. So think about what you want yourself, talk about that. Think about what you want from your staff and the people that you work for and your customers. And another neat trick is to, when you're talking to somebody, don't let them complain and moan and explain at you. Shift them immediately into the solution, not the problem. What can I do for you? Well, okay, I get the point now. I know what you don't want, what do you want? And the minute they go from problem to solution, the energy of the conversation changes, and instantly you benefit from that because you're absorbing it. So for 21 days, the homework is, don't moan, don't complain, don't explain yourself. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You know what your purpose is. Just do it. Just do it. Just be it. People don't understand you. If they ask you questions, you can tell them, but you don't have to explain a thing. Just do it. Your life is a message, and they should get that message. Don't waste your time. Get on to your next purposeful action. And if you do that for 21 days, your energy levels will shift. You'll have more wisdom, more energy for thinking, planning, and more time for yourself. Your day will completely change when you stop moaning and complaining. Remove negative criticism from your mind and from your vocabulary. Hope that helps. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Introduction, mate, 'cause